Hello fellow model railroaders, welcome back to another DG Modelworks review. And here we have in HO scale, Athearn Genesis 2.0 SD80MAC with Soundtrack's Tsunami 2 sound. And I want to thank Horizon Hobby and Athearn for providing me the opportunity to review these models. The SD80MAC, otherwise known as the Conrail Cadillac. Only 30 SD80MACs were ever produced, with production years being 1995 to 1996, and with Conrail being the sole owner. For Conrail, the SD80MACs were the first AC traction diesel locomotives on their roster. The M in MAC stands for Wide Safety Cab, while the AC stands for AC Traction. It was equipped with a 20-cylinder EMD 710G prime mover with the dynamic brakes at the rear of the locomotive. After the split of Conrail, the SD80MACs were split up between the Norfolk Southern Railway and CSX Transportation. Norfolk Southern received 17 units, while CSX received 13. In 2014, Norfolk Southern acquired the SD80MACs from CSX in a locomotive trade, leaving Norfolk Southern as the sole owner of all remaining SD80MACs. These are Genesis 2.0 models, which feature things such as all LED lighting, illuminated number boards front and rear, illuminated ground lights, and models that are equipped with marker lights also illuminate. Rubber MU hoses, etched see-through walkway steps, and DC sound models have full-featured Tsunami 2 sound decoder, and they also come with dual sugar cube speakers. Now I have an original Conrail unit and an ex-CSX Norfolk Southern unit. I will discuss and show a lot of the features of these locomotives using the Conrail unit, simply for the fact because that's where these things all started. Also, I will show you some differences between the details between these two locomotives, as the Norfolk Southern one was acquired from CSX, so it still retains some of the CSX details. So let's start at the front like we always do. Lots of separately applied parts. Grab irons up here, grab irons right here, grab irons across the nose, your sand fill hatches, wiper blades, grab irons down the front, both sides. You have some over here. As we drop down and look at the pilot here a little bit, you have your MU cable, MU hoses, train line hoses. The MU hoses are rubber. We have a painted receptacle, coupler cut levers, and we have some grab irons on the plow. Nicely done. And don't forget the McHenry plastic coupler. Now this particular model features functioning marker lights, which we will cover later in the video when we discuss lighting. This model also features lit number boards, and again we'll cover that later during the lighting segment. There's also a non-operating step light and even a warning label in there. You have etched see-through steps. You also have simulated anti-skid coating on the walkways, just like the real one. Give you a quick shot of the side of the cab here, and this also does have a full cab interior. While we're here, we'll just jump up to the top and check out the antenna array that is correct for the original Conrail units. And this also does have a removable roof that's held on by 2 magnets, like some of their other models. See if I can do that for you. There we go. And there you can see the cab interior. Even some more detail back in here. Check out that truck detail, along with the sanding lines. And you can even see a lot of the underbody detail there. And you can see we have the ground light there, and this does have operating ground lights. I think this is a beautiful shot of this section of the locomotive. Man, there's a lot going on here. This grill here appears to be see-through. These are not. You have your grab irons here. There's a grab iron in here. This is your walkway and steps. Here's another angle of that area. Do have a little bit of handrail warpage going on here, but you can see the steps, the walkway, all the grab irons, another wiper. Here's a quick look at the fuel tank area, and take note of this area right in here, because later on when we do a comparison video with this one and the Norfolk's other one, there is something to point out that's different. As we move further back, you do see all the molded on detail. We do have a lift ring here, some lift rings here. Now there is something I need to discuss with you. There is a missing lift ring here, and the two on the other side are also missing. And that is the same for this locomotive and the Norfolk Southern one. The exact same ones are missing. Now that's a little bit of an issue because, well, we have missing parts. As you know, whenever I run into a problem with a product and or have to call or email customer service, I usually do a follow-up video. Instead of doing a follow-up video on this, what I decided to do was include it at the end of this video. Yes, that is a bummer, but it is an easy fix. So stay tuned at the end of this video where I discuss this in further detail. So let's continue with the review. I'm not going to let a couple missing lift rings ruin that. Okay, back here at the radiator section and the dynamic brake section. None of these grills are see-through, but these grills are see-through. Of course, this is the dynamic brake section. Look at all those labels, warning labels everywhere. And again, the truck detail in this thing is fantastic. And how about that rear end? Check out, we have the marker lights, which we will cover later again with the lighting. Lit number boards. And again, all of this is LED lighting. And again, you have your rubber MU hoses. You got your MU cable here, spare knuckles, and your McHenry coupler again. And your coupler cut lever. Give you a quick glimpse of what's going on top of this thing. You have your RS3L horn. There's your exhaust, which is open into the compartment as usual. You have your radiator fans, and they are in there. It's hard to see through the grill with my camera here. And check out the dynamic brake fan here. The grill on that is etched metal and nicely done. Alright, as we look at the other side of this, I've decided to give you a run-by shot of this with the sound off. That way you can hear the driveline and everything with the sound off. Kind of killed two birds with one stone. I will tell you, you may hear a little bit of noise. To me, it's just a Genesis driveline, which I find to be pretty dependable. Okay, let's check out the lighting on this. This comes with all LED lighting. So let's hit the headlight. Function 5 would be ditch lights. Now they're showing up not too bad in the camera, but I will say the ditch lights are a little bit more dim than the headlight. Let's see, function 6 would be your number boards. I'm not sure how well they show up on the camera. In a lit room, you cannot tell that they are lit, but I will kill some lighting in here so we can see if that brings them out a little bit. And this one is actually equipped with marker lights. So that would be function 24, and they come on obviously in the opposite direction of travel. So let's put this in reverse. And there you go. The headlight, ditch lights go out, the number boards are still lit, and the red marker lights are on. Change direction again back to forward. And there you go. Give you a quick look at the rear lights. So in reverse, you have your headlight and your number boards. This does have lit number boards on the back also. And this also has marker lights. So let's change direction back to forward. And with function 24 on, that will be your marker lights. This also has ground lighting on both sides of the cab, which is not showing up at all in a lit room here. So let me kill some lights and we'll check out the lighting again. Alright, I killed some of the lighting in this room so you can see the lighting on the locomotive a little better. You do see the number boards are flickering. That is not happening in person. That's the camera causing that. Sometimes the LEDs come across on a camera that way, and it just so happens just the number boards for some reason are acting up on my camera. But you can see when they're not flickering, that's what they look like. And actually F7 is the dimmer. You can dim your headlight. So when you dim your headlight, they actually match the ditch lights. So the ditch lights could be a little bit brighter. Bring that back up. They do also alternate with the horn. So if you hit the horn button, we'll cover sounds in a little bit. Right now I have the sounds off. And there's a shot of the marker lights when you go in reverse. They look really good in person, actually. The marker lights look a lot better in person than they do on camera. The red in person is just amazing. And here's a glimpse of the rear light, and then it also has a dims with function 7. And again, the number boards are flickering in the camera, not in real life. And there are the marker lights. Again, they look really good in person. Alright guys, I tried to get you some shots of the ground lighting. It just wasn't happening. They are really not bright enough. Alright, so you've seen the Conrail unit, so I'm going to pull out the Norfolk Southern unit as we discuss the sounds and operation a little bit. So this has the Tsunami 2, of course. So to get the startup sequence, you must apply track power. I did adjust some of the volume CVs before I made this video so it wasn't so loud. Function 8 will mute it or bring the sound back. Alright, let's hear the horn. We got short horn, function 3, bell, alright, this decoder is equipped with dynamic brakes, that's function 4. The locomotive must be moving for you to hear them and for them to function. They do have a prototypical function where they do slow the locomotive. There is light dynamic braking, heavy dynamic braking, and that's all covered in the manual that's included with this locomotive. So for all the special features that are built into this decoder, please read through that. For the sake of the length of this video, I cannot cover every single one of them. So I will hit function 4 and start moving the locomotive, and you should hear what the dynamic brake sounds like. So there you go. So let's go ahead and run this up through some notches for you. And this also is equipped with alternating ditch lights. It does run really smooth. Alright, I want to go over some of the model specific features that differ between these two. Remember earlier when I said pay attention to this area by the fuel filler? Well, that's on the Conrail unit. We move this up. This was a CSX feature that Norfolk Southern left on their locomotive. This is a digital fuel gauge mounted right here underneath the walkway. Pretty cool feature. Another difference is the antenna array on top of the locomotives. You can see the difference here. This is actually a CSX version at the time, and Norfolk Southern just left it be. Another difference between the two are the marker lights. Conrail has functioning marker lights, and the Norfolk Southern unit has plated over marker lights, and that's pretty much what Norfolk Southern did with everything they bought. They either plated over or painted over marker lights. Athearn even simulated rivets on the plates over the marker lights. Pretty cool attention to detail there. And look at the sand fill hatch. There's even a decal on that. Alright, let's discuss the missing lift rings real quick. I have spoken with Athearn, and they have determined that some of these went out with the missing lift rings. Now, if that has happened to you, all you have to do is contact Athearn customer service or request the missing lift rings through the Athearn parts department. Now, when you submit your parts request, provide as much information as you can. That way you get the right parts. So look at your exploded parts diagram and look for your missing part. In this case, it's number 82 on the diagram. Flip it over, and this is all the parts of the locomotive. Find number 82. There's 82. 82 then lists a part number. 82 is not the part number. The part number is a looks like a 7 or 8 digit number. Provide that. It's the dustbin hatch lift ring. That's what you want to request. And again, the reason I said provide as much information as you can, including the road name or color of the locomotive even, because they sent me replacement lift rings, and I have blue lift rings and black lift rings for my blue locomotive and black locomotive. So they're already pre-painted. So that's why I said provide as much information as you can. Also, if you're unsure how to install these on your own, I will demonstrate it real quick for you. Start out by gently placing the locomotive in a foam cradle or other soft surface. Also for this, you will need a pair of tweezers, super glue, and a spare piece of cardboard. Start out by putting just a drop of super glue on your spare piece of cardboard. Gently grasp the lift ring with your tweezers, and next dip the end of the lift ring into the glue. Now position the lift ring into the hole under the locomotive and situate it properly before the glue dries. Here you see the finished lift ring. Repeat the process on the other side. So there we have it. New lift rings, and we're ready to rock and roll. So these locomotives have some pretty cool features and details and road specific details. I think there's a little room for improvement in the lighting area. Also, these weigh in right around 23.5 ounces. So I'm going to leave you with a run by and kind of a pull test at the end of this video, and show you a little bit of the dynamic digital exhaust of the Tsunami 2 decoder. And that's also in the instructions on how to set that up. And that will be it for this video. As you will see a pull test. Also check the description for links to purchase these locomotives. And if you're interested in new and upcoming products from Athearn, be sure to check out their Train Tuesday. It live streams on their Facebook page and YouTube page every Tuesday. So let's get this train moving. 46 various cars. I do get a little bit of wheel slip in my big sweeping S curves, but other than that, it pulls it. Be sure to listen for the dynamic digital exhaust when this thing starts pulling.